Okay, we're up and running. So, welcome into season 19, round 6 of Tier 2 in ALR. We are at Monza with no chicane, which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be an extremely different type of racing to what we had last week at Sardinia. Yeah, it was Sardinia last week. And we have a few, well, for you, say we've got one probably, Whack up in second, which is, I think he's done well he did well in Interlagos qualifying, I think, and then suffered a bit in the race. So hopefully this race goes a little bit better. Him and his teammate Pyro have been towards the back for a lot of this race with the McLaren, which is a bit surprising especially for Pyro, because he did well with it last season. So he's in the same car. Would have thought he'd do a little better. We've got Marty on pole in the Mazda, which does make sense. He's expected to do well Daytona here. Good top speed on that car. Harry in third, pretty impressive in the Ferrari, to be honest. Wouldn't have thought it'd do too good here. It's good in the middle sector, but first and last, just doesn't really have the top end for the job. So getting it in third is a pretty good job. Then we've got Ross in fourth. I'm going to guess that's his best qualifying of the season. Might be his first time out qualifying his teammate, who is down in ninth. So it's a really good qualifying from Ross. Obviously, either putting the practice or likes the track to get up in fourth. GCR should be pretty good around here, especially with the slipstream. That is another thing that we don't know, because qualifying, if you're doing it right, it was a bit of a slipstream fest. We don't know who got a good slipstream, who didn't. Asseldor in the Beetle, which is another one, didn't expect it to do that well here. Doesn't have a great top speed. We saw that in Daytona, but he's up in fifth. So that's a good qualifying from Asseldor. Got Tin in sixth, so he's up in the mix. He's kind of at the front of the danger zone, though, into what would have been turn 3 is now going to be turn 1, essentially, because the first turn is easy flat, especially when on the sprint on soft tyres. Got Higgsy in the M6 in 7th. Kind of expected, middle of the pack. It's okay. The M6s did really well or had the pace at least, in Tier 1. Races didn't go quite to plan. But the M6 kind of doesn't really have the top end either, but it's surprisingly fast. XNAG down in 8th, so that is our current championship leader in the Lamborghini again. Didn't really expect that to do particularly well. So down up in 8th, and he's without a teammate this week because Arukis has dropped out for the season, I believe. Then we've got Gilles, like we said, in 9th in the GTR. Probably a little bit disappointed with that. Maybe couldn't find his teammates to work and get a slipstream. Had to get it from somebody else. Things go wrong. Fossey, quite surprising, down in 10th in the Audi because he did so well at Daytona. I would have thought he'd do just as well here. Again, maybe missing out on the slipstream. We don't know. Could be able to come forward in the race. Prime Call in 11th in the AMG. Kind of around where he's been. Sometimes he's been higher than that, but I'm not sure how much practice he's been doing recently. I think I saw him mention that he wasn't doing that much practice. But the AMG starts, could maybe get a couple of positions off the line straight away. Astro down in 12th. Honestly, since the first round, he's really not been getting on with that Audi. He looked like he was a championship challenger from the start, and he's just not really had the pace the last couple of rounds. Scotty down in 13th. That's a big swing from last week. He was on pole last week and got the sprint win. So maybe he can come forward as well. It's not a bad place to be, honestly, the bottom end of the grid, because you get to profit from a lot of the chaos that happens in the middle. Then we've got Jack down in 14th, struggling with the Ferrari, kind of expected. Another one that had a good race last week. Going to be tricky this week, but he's only a few positions out of the reverse grid. It's probably what he's aiming for, at least. Pyro down in 15th. Again, he's been having a tricky season in the McLaren. A little bit surprising, because he had a couple of strong rounds. A couple of very strong rounds. He got second place a couple of times. Was fighting for a win potentially last season. So same car. Don't think it's been hit with a BOP update. At least not much anyway. And then we've got Misha, new driver, in the Peugeot VGT. Always a fan of someone choosing that car. Should be a bit of a missile around here. I believe missed qualifying, which is why they're at the back. So it'd be interesting to see if they how much progress they make, because I'm expecting that to come flying past quite a few cars at some point in this race. Well, let's get this off and away. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights. And long hold, but they are off. Look like Ross got a great reaction. But Marty is leading and they're not bump drafting. This is risky because you're inviting the rest of the pack to come back towards you. Ross is being a bit hung out to dry. Yeah, and Asador just sticking on the slipstream for the guys in front. But Ross is going to have the inside around the Curva Grande. Going to get him back alongside. But it's actually Harry who's still holding on to the lead hand. He's got the inside for the chicane. Is everybody going to survive? Looks like everybody is alive. I've got Misha up to 12th already, so using the Peugeot VGT speed to great effect. Already up into... Oh, Harry with 2-second penalty. That's something we didn't mention. Insane penalties around here, especially through that first chicane. He's got a big lead, but that is costly. That's something we are going to have to mention, or I keep an eye out for, is are people going to be going onto the grass to serve these penalties? Because they were doing it in Tier 1, and it was hilarious to watch. Evening, Marty. Sure, interesting, fun. Yeah, 2 wheels on the grass. In Tier 1, some of them were going 4 wheels on the grass to try and minimise it as well. Might have only saved him a position or 2 at most, and he's got dirty tyres, so it is a risk. There's the main reason I don't do it, is because I don't want dirty tyres afterwards. I will deal with whatever penalty, whatever the actual penalty is. But we've got Marty back up into the lead from pole position. Wack holding on to P2 for now. Ross in 3rd. Asador just barely dropping off the back of the top 3. Now, if the top 3 can work together and break away, I can tell that Wack is trying to work with Marty. Ross is just about staying in the slipstream, and Asador is definitely dropping out. He's right on the edge, might have even dropped out by now. If Ross can get right onto the back of these guys and stick with them... Oh, that was Asador going super late on the brakes. He might have survived lap 1. It's a good job he didn't do that on lap 1. He would have taken half the field out with him. But actually didn't get a penalty. How? Like, actually how? Was he hit from behind and the game didn't give him a penalty, maybe? I want to watch that again. How did you not get a penalty? It didn't look like he has any contact. I mean, he's not gained anything, but he definitely hasn't lost anything. That is a weird one. Honestly, amazing he got away with that. Gilles had a great start up into P5. I think we saw him diving down the inside of the chicane and actually surviving and making it work. Harry's recovered into 6th after his penalty and tamed down 1 position into 7th. Prime called up a few positions, Jack up 5 positions, I think, off the start. So, great start there from Jack. XNG's lost a couple of places. Fossey Higgsy's down quite a lot of places. He's down next to his teammate now, so getting shuffled out on the first lap somewhere. And Misha's had some kind of a crash somewhere and he's off the back. So that is not going to be recoverable, especially with no slipstream from anyone to work with. I think they're kind of locked into the P16 position. Going to affect their feature race. But Ross has managed to get in front of Wack. If Wack is still going to be working with Ross, yeah, they're just going to push their way back up to the front with Marty. And is Asador too far back again? It looks like he might be. And we know that Beetle's not great. Yeah, he's like almost 6 miles an hour. Or was almost 6 miles an hour slower than Wack in the McLaren. But we have some side-by-side. Not there. We have Harry going side-by-side with Gilles. Gilles to the inside of the chicane. I think he had to back out of it, or Harry just sent it around the outside. Will be up into the gravel. That's going to allow Gilles through. Is it going to allow Tim to follow him through as well? No, he doesn't. He managed to cover, but he has got dirty tyres still, so got to be careful. Is Tim going to go for the move here? He's put it to the inside. Harry gets a little bit forced out wide, wasn't he? Was there enough space left? Stick on board with... Yeah, nothing really Tim could have done there. He left space on the exit. There's just a little bit of contact, because I'm not sure if Harry knew he was turning in there. Oh, what's happened to Harry? He's dropped a lot of position, down to 10th. Lost more positions than I thought he would, but it does cost a lot on the exit. Oh, he's super late on the brakes again. Did he keep it within track limits? Because even if we didn't gain time, you can get a penalty for going wide there. Looks like he's got away with it. Needs to find somebody to stick in the slipstream of. Sticking in the slipstream of Astro for now, but you can see the Ferrari's just struggling for top end. He must have had a monster lap in qualifying to qualify in P4. So Higgsy is now through. Scotty is, I think, trying to get the slipstream off his teammate and follow him through. He is. Is Harry getting the slipstream from anybody? It doesn't look like it. Oh, nobody's managed to move over and get it from Higgsy, so that didn't quite work out for Scotty. And now Harry's going for the move. Around the outside. Has he got enough overspeed to go all the way around the side here? Probably not. Scotty's going to go through on the inside, bump drafting his teammate. Harry might even lose his position to Pyro. Ooh, it's two BMW teammates going side by side. Can Scotty cover off Harry? Harry's pulled back in. So it's really bad laps there for Harry. Down from, well, he was in the lead, but he got a penalty immediately. And now he's down into 13th with a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Astro down into 15th as well. Pyro's made up a couple of positions thanks to some incidents. Now the top two starting to split away a little bit. Ross able to stick with Marty with the slipstream. But whacking the McLaren, that McLaren is quick on the straights, especially top speed. So in the slipstream it'll gain a lot, but he's not managed to drop Assador. And crucially, Assador is right on the back of Wack this time, so he shouldn't get dropped so badly, if at all, on this next straight. Which is the one that really counts, because it's so long, because it's fly all the way from here down to the chicane. If you've not got the slipstream, you just lose so much time. Marty's currently sitting with the fastest lap at the moment, 39.6. Ross basically matching that though on the last lap, 1200's different. And they're not close enough to bump draft, but I'm surprised Ross didn't close up more, to be honest, down that straight. But Wack has, we're talking about the top speed of that McLaren, Wack is all the way onto the back of Ross now. Top 5 have a bit of a breakaway from Tin. Definitely going to be outside the slipstream range. Gilles going to be hoping to tag onto the back of this group. He was just about in the slipstream range, that's why he hasn't dropped off completely. But again, in this middle sector, Wack just is struggling to keep up with Ross. And Assador, that's where the Beetle's got to be making its time in the middle sector. Misha with the 39.4, and that's without slipstream because we know they're on their own at the back. So it's a good lap from Misha. These guys are all spread out. Gilles is onto the back of that group. Tin is going to be running solo because Primecore's got a 3-second penalty. Is he going to be using the grass? No, he's doing it nice and fair and square. Staying on the track. Jack had one as well, but it was less of a penalty. So, and I see how much that time that's cost him. He went from 7th down to 14th. Astro is maybe just about within slipstream. Going to be tight. Jack down to 13th from that. Pyro up into 12th. Harry up to 11th. One more place and he gets the reverse grid positions for the feature race. Both BMWs have moved their way into those. Bossy up into 10th. X9G. He's really going to be bothered about Harry behind him. And it's going to work out great if Harry doesn't get into the reverse grid positions, because X9G is going to be starting 4th in the feature race. Does manage to hold on to that position. Has anything changed at the front? No, although Gilles maybe not quite getting a good run out of the parabolic and lost the slipstream because he started to drop off the back of the group. Ross has actually made his way into the lead. So this is something we have not seen in a sprint race so far. Ross out front. So clearly wasn't a lucky lap in qualifying. He's got the pace, and they're just seeing a 38.8 from Misha with no slipstream. That Peugeot VGT is an absolute weapon. And Ross has actually pulled a massive gap. It's not going to be, as long as these guys work together, it's not enough to be worried about. I don't know if Marty should have been defending that. Just work together, get back up to Ross. Because Ross is gone. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he'll be having it again, I can assure you, before Spa. 39.8. Probably with some slipstream or the beginning of the lap, but maybe it's just a bad lap from Marty because he's almost lost two seconds pretty much. Tyres should not be mattering at all at this point. Wack probably going to get this move done on the inside, especially if Asador sticks there with him and bumps him through. Oh, going 3 wide. I think Marty backed out of that quite smartly. Asador now up into second. And I think this is probably the way you'd want to run this. The slower car at the front, the faster cars behind that can bump it on the straights. Because we know Asador's got the pace in this section because he's been pulling away from Wack for the last few laps, or coming right up to the back of Wack in this section. And those 3 battlings allow Gilles back onto it, so he's going to be very thankful for that. Tin's still in no man's land, which is going to be hurting his lap times a lot. So hard to close the gap when you're on your own. Fossey's kind of close, but it's going to be another lap or so before these guys get onto the back of Tin, I reckon. So what is going on here? Marty maybe just not want to lead. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out why he was so slow on that lap. Because like, dropping down to second, I understand to a degree. Because you want to be able to choose when you go for the move and get into the lead. But he's still sticking with these guys. But he's in 4th now, which is a lot of work to do in 2 laps. And again, Wack defending. I'm not sure that's the decision. I know there's 2 laps to go, but it's like the leader is close enough that you can see them. Just work together and close the gap. Because now Marty's back up into second. And obviously going purple with immense slipstream. The fact it's only 0.2 purple with how much slipstream he had, that is crazy. So Ross he's not been able to drive away. 41.2 on the last lap. That was his first full lap without any slipstream assistance. And he's started to kill the tyres a little bit. Although they're all kind of the same level. Marty's actually weirdly slightly better, if anything. Although it's so marginal, it's not really making a difference. But he has managed to close back up anyway. So, kind of expected. With the slipstream, it's hard to pull away at the front unless you build a gap with someone and they get a penalty. You can get lucky if that happens, like happened to me in the sprint. But Ross is going to be coming under attack from Marty. Asseldor's still in 3rd. Sticking with these guys through the corners, but he is kind of struggling to make a difference on the straights. Is he going to... Surely just going to bump draft. Surely Asador's just going to bump draft. Yep. And they are closing up to Ross. Ross doesn't go defensive, sticks to the racing line. It's going to allow Marty down the inside. Nice move there from Marty, gets it stopped. Does anybody get a penalty? Looks like the top 3 are all clear. Wack holding on to P4 ahead of Gilles, and Tin is now right onto the back of those guys. So Marty's got the lead, and honestly in this position, at this point in the track, I'd want to be in first, because it's not easy to get a move done into the Parabolica. You need an immense run through the Ascari to get the move done. And actually Ross is probably coming under more threat from Asador, who's right behind him still. And we've got Tin going for a move in the background. Shields manages to hold it around the outside. Did Ross get a good enough exit to maybe challenge? I don't think he's close enough. There'd be a send if he tries to go for it. No, doesn't go for it. Maybe we can try and set up for a run to the line. Probably going to need a mistake from Marty though. It's not a long run. And he does get a good run, but I'm pretty sure Marty's going to be able to hold on to this, and he does. So Marty gets the win, Ross in second, Asador third, White holds on to fourth. So we're very happy with that. Shields in sixth, Tin in Shields fifth, Tin sixth, X9G in seventh, Higgsy, Fossey, Jack in the final reverse grid position, Pyro, Astro, Prime Call, Scotty, Harry down in 15th. That is bad for his championship. And then we've got the flying Peugeot VGT going as close to the wall as you can, because you can just cut that. It doesn't actually count that. Considering how harsh the track limits are, it does not think that is one. But yeah, that was a surprisingly tame race, I would say, honestly. I was expecting more chaos, although we might have missed it in the mid-pack. But T1, lap 1 was pretty clean from everyone. It was just Harry getting that 2-second penalty. And that really kind of set him up for disaster, because it drops him into the middle of the pack, and that's where... So you were working with Ross then in qualifying. Is that your first Tier 2 win? Oh, well, I trust you. I trust you that it is. But yeah, nice result there. That one. Yeah. Okay, so the chaos is in this one, apparently. So... tyre strategies. It's a hard medium or a medium soft for some cars. If they're in an MR car, it's probably going to be hard medium. I don't think any MR can do that except maybe the McLaren actually. Be interesting to see what the McLarens are on. So we've got Jack on pole. His race is really going to depend on if he's got someone to work with him. If Fossey can stick with him and work with him, and just push him along, and they work together to try and get away at the front, that could maybe work. Got Higgsy on the hards as well. So is anybody going to go for the medium soft? Tin could be going medium first. Yeah, in the Alpha, yeah. I could see that. The Alpha's kind of, sort of similar to the McLaren in like the loosest possible sense. But it does depend on the track a lot, how much you kill the front tyres on that. But I can imagine on this track it's not really much of a problem. The only slow speed section is the chicane, maybe the two Lesmos after that, but they're kind of medium speed, not really an issue. But we've got Tin and Giles on the mediums. White going on the hards, so maybe the McLaren can't do it, or he didn't want to, or he didn't try it. Honestly, it's medium soft, it's kind of 50-50 whether it's faster or not. Because I could have done medium soft but went from hard medium, and it worked out better. So it really depends how much tyre saving you have to do, how much fuel saving you have to do. Because that is the other thing. Because it's such a fast track, it's hard to go 16 laps, which is what you need to do on mediums, I think, to go on softs, without them fully being cooked at the end. Asador looks like he could be trying it as well. Yeah, brake balance rear, and then fuel save, yeah. Ross going to be trying it, maybe? I mean, the GTRs are bad tyre wear this season. I don't know if that can do medium soft. Maybe they're just going medium first. I'm kind of torn. Normally, I'm okay with going mediums at the start. Try and make some progress. But this track, it's the medium tyres. You're not using the tyre grip to get that position. Pyro could be going for the medium soft in the McLaren. Astro on the hards, unsurprisingly. Prime Call on the mediums. Could be going medium soft. Scotty on the hard, so BMW, it's kind of okay on tyres. I wouldn't have thought it'd been too much of a problem around here, but clearly decided that that's not what they're going for. And we've got Harriet on the hards, Misha on the mediums. Again, Peugeot VT actually. That could be quite... what are we doing that? That could be quite nice on its tyres. It's pretty stable. So they could be going medium soft as well. Be interesting to see where they get up to in this race. Everybody filling into line. I think we just need to keep a little bit of an eye on the McLaren, because I know that has a pretty bad rolling start. The Beetle has quite a decent one, it would seem, and is right onto the back of Wack already. Nobody's pulling out to go for a move though, so let's go back up to the front. Fossey looking for the move. I don't know if I'd be doing that. Yeah, chaos has already happened, and we haven't even made it past turn 1. So both Jack and Fossey go deep. Is anybody going to get a penalty? And I think there's going to be more chaos to follow, because everybody's just super bunched up now. Nobody's reforced out, nobody's crashed yet. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. Looks like everybody is alive. Okay, everybody's alive, but we are still super close. Jack doesn't look like he's got a penalty, so neither of them did. And given how late both of them braked, I'm not sure either of them were making the corner at all in the first place. Got Tin, who was trying to go for a move on Fossey, but oh no, he's still there. A little bit of contact. Yeah, they were all nose to tail, and we're now 3 wide. Who's that come through? Gilles has come... No, it's not Gilles. Is it? I thought it was a GTR in there. It's Ross. But I thought it was a GTR coming through ahead of all these guys. So Wacky's now up into 5th place. Astor up into 6th. Tin in 7th. Fossey going for that move, and somebody was wide in the background. Astro maybe? Could have been Ross. Not sure. Somebody went wide at the last corner. I don't think that's where Astro's penalty came from. I think that was from the exit of Ascari. But the thing we have seen is that this Audi is absolutely rapid on the straights. It was at Daytona, so it's going to be getting the benefit down here. Is he going to be able to go for a move into turn... Well, I'm going to just keep calling it turn 1, because it is really. That's just so easy flat. It's not really a corner. It's just an inconvenient bend at this point. I need to keep it on track, but that 1 second penalty is going to drop him basically to last. Oh, maybe not to last. Did Marcy pick up a penalty? Or did he have an incident? Oh, he's had an incident somewhere. Okay, so we lost somebody. Was it assisted? Yes. Although Marty was going super slow to not hit the back of Ross. I think there was a little bit of contact. There's nothing really Pyro could do about that, and he's probably picked up damage from that, Pyro, because... Actually, no, he didn't. So only Marty, so maybe a little bit of lag playing a factor. But I don't think there's anything Pyro could have done. There was a little bit of contact between Marty and Ross, and then... That's just kind of... GT7's ping-pong physics taking over. But Pyro up into 9, so that's a good start from Pyro. Unintentionally punting his competition off the track. And we've got some more chaos up front. So Higgsy's up into 3rd, or maybe holding on to 3rd, just ahead of Gilles. X90G's made his way to the front and he's trying to disappear. Is he on the hard tyres? He is. Wasn't sure if he started on the mediums and was using that to try and get away. But we've got moves going on in the background. Tin again trying to go past Fossey, and Pyro's trying to go around the outside. I wouldn't want to be out there. Let's have a look at that from Tin's point of view. Cannot see anything from that, so that's not helpful. Let's go back to Pyro. Yeah, I just think going around the outside there is a bad idea. You kind of get what you signed up for with that, honestly. You're gonna get pushed out there, even if the driver leaves room, because they have to go over the curb. But Marty did just say something in chat. First of 3 visits to the gravel, so definitely not going to go the same as the first race. But we've got Pyro drop down to 14th. Misha's already up into 11th. Let's see if they can get past Prime Call. Yes, is the answer. Almost. And yeah, Misha cruising past the AMG. And the AMG's not slow. That Peugeot is a monster. Oh, somebody, that is Higgsy. Jeez, we're going to spend decades watching this, I feel like. How many incidents we're going to see. So, Higgsy, yeah, I know, it's insanely fast. Higgsy must have got a tap from behind there, surely. Yeah. I guess a tap from Shields. I would expect that to get reported because Higgsy has lost so much time from that, down into 7th. His teammate's got a 1.5 second penalty behind him. And he's going to have a bit dirty tyres from going off track. Needs to be careful on the hard tyres because getting dirty tyres, it can make it super easy to spin a little bit, slide somewhere, and then it's hard to save it. And the BMW can be quite snappy. Oh, we've got the VGC going for another move, or looking for it on Ross. To the inside. Yeah, but backs out of it. I think smart decision there. Yeah, strong penalties are kind of crazy. It's like this, and this Interlagos is probably the worst for strong penalties. You get multiple second penalties just for even not gaining time, which is just stupid. Well, you guys voted for it, so it's kind of having a taste of your own medicine, I guess. And next time when a vote comes around for that, you will know to vote for weak penalties to avoid situations like this, where you get 2 second penalties for nothing. Okay, so is Misha going to be able to make it 3 wide? Yes. Although it's going to be 2 wide again very soon. That is just crazy. Maybe I need to use that again. Ooh, Ting going late on the brakes. Gets it stopped. Misha did well there to leave room, to be honest. Because that was a long way back from Tin. He did manage to get it stopped though. So Tin back up into 7th. I think he's been higher than that. Bossie's actually recovered relatively well in 6th. Whack looks like he's got a 0.5 second penalty. He has. And somehow Shields is in the lead. How the heck has that happened? Did XNAG just not get away? Or did he have a penalty? Wow. That is a big gap to lose. And I think Shields is just going to slipstream past. We can see that Lambo just does not have the straight line speed. Look how far the cars behind are. And they're going to be caught completely. And Giles, I think, is going to be in the lead after this corner. Ooh, a little bit of contact there with Jack. Yeah, just goes through around the outside. Got the overspeed. Goes super deep, but managed to keep it on track. Giles up into the lead. Jack in 2nd, but he's about to lose a few positions, I believe. Yeah, goes wide onto the gravel. XNIG comes through, forces him wide. Asseldor going to take advantage. Well, he probably is after that slide. Yeah, and we've seen up to this point, got whacked with the 0.5 second penalty. Jack down into 5th, does manage to slot back into the train. And now Shields is out front on his own. We'll see if the Lambo has a harder time closing that gap under slipstream as Jack goes wide again. That could potentially get him a penalty as well, even though he lost time. No, okay, he's been lucky, not lucky to get away with that, because you can get penalties going out that wide. Although he's sort of been penalised anyway, because Wack was ahead of him with a half-second penalty, and that's basically exactly the amount of time he's lost. Now, we've got Misha in 8th. Are they going to be able to get this move done, or are they going to work together? They just pulled out of the slipstream there. The Peugeot VGT does not even need it. And it's sticking with them. Okay, has to pull in eventually, but it hung with them for a long time. Then we got Ross behind in 9th. Is Misha going to go for the move down the inside? Looks like it. Yeah, gets it stopped, leaves space. Should be able to get the better run. Close off the inside, yeah. Nice move there from Misha up into P7. Got to the inside of Jack, but not really going to make a move there. Plus you can take a little bit of a wide line because they're kind of banked. Something you do have to keep in mind with the Peugeot is that the back of it is actually wider than the front. So if you go for small gaps, you need to be careful, otherwise you're going to end up forcing people off by accident. But Misha easily getting that move done on Jack, easily getting the move done on the Ferrari. It's not close, and they're already off after piece 5 already. And Gilles is driving away. Gilles on the mediums, Asseldor on the mediums. I mean, he does want to be in front of X9G, but he needs someone with the slipstream. Because these might be the 2 slowest cars in a straight line. Now, it's got Fossey and Tin's on the medium, so I could do with Tin getting up there to help him out a little bit. Looks like he might be going past Fossey now. Although Fossey's probably got some slipstream from the cars ahead, so maybe not, and they might be both getting passed by the VGT. Yeah, that's 1, that's 2. That is actually taking candy from her baby. And on the medium tyres as well. Misha could just win this from last. Although Tin's super late on the brakes again. Did get forced out a little bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with that though. I want to go on board with Tin. So Misha actually did well to get it stopped because he got a little bit of a hit from Fossey. I don't think there's anything there. I mean, Tin kind of loses, like he has to turn left a little bit, otherwise he's going to hit the curb on the chicane and then he's just going to murder Misha off into the gravel. Kind of what happened anyway, but I'm not sure really anything he could have done there. Oh, that's going to cost a lot. Damage. Oh, I think that's Marty off in the background. That's his second, possibly. Might be his. Hopefully it's his third and he can just focus on making his way forward. Did he have any help? No, maybe not. He's at the back of the group. Just goes in too deep. Oh, maybe had a little bit of help from Pyro there. Then we've got Astro down in 16th off the back. So Gilles not got anyone to help him with the slipstream, because Asseldor's too far behind. X9G is getting closed in on by Tin. Makes sense. Tin on the medium tyres. And you can short shift quite a bit with the Mazda, so that could be able to go 16 laps on the fuel and go for the medium soft. How's the fuel looking? Fuel's looking even better on the Lambo actually, and on the Beetle. So Tin's actually got the worst fuel out of the top 4. Yeah. Was the first one? He really is at the moment. Was the first one Pyro? Yeah, it was. Although the first one was unintentional. I didn't have a proper look at the second one. But I imagine the reports will be flying in, or would have been flying in after this one. Tin trying to push his way through. Looks like he's managed it up into P3. Now he needs to try and get the move done for P2. Oh, that's a little super late on the brakes. Manages to get it. Managed to get the position back. But all the time this is costing time to Gilles. Tyres looking okay. Could be going medium soft. We'll have to check after lap 8, see if they're down to 50% on the fuel. Ross actually made a lot of progress up into P5 now. So he was just sort of hanging around in P9 for the opening few laps, but he's managed to make some serious progress now. Wax still holding on in 7th, hasn't really made much progress after that half-second penalty. Oh, there was Ross maybe going too deep. I don't know if there was any contact there. Ross going too deep gives the position to Tim. Boss has recovered pretty well up into 4th, still on the hard tyres. Jack has dropped back after starting in P1, which is not really surprising. We knew he qualified P14, not really getting on with this track at the moment. Ooh, Misha's had some more problems, I think. Actually, they might have lost more time because of that damage on the straight and allowed the other cars to get past. So even the Peugeot BTT with damage is still going to should be slower than the normal undamaged Group 3s. And then we've got Marty, who has managed to get past Pyro. He's probably going to want to get away from him as fast as he possibly can, as Misha's just driving past people again. That's just, it's mad. It's a shame there's probably not going to be any good tracks for it next season, unless... Did we do Daytona twice now? We might have. This could potentially get voted back, although I very, very much doubt it. But I don't think there's going to be any good tracks for the Peugeot next season. Because we've used a lot of the high-speed tracks this season. They've already pulled a massive gap. Oh, they're still on medium tyres. And the tyres are looking okay. But they're definitely not doing the medium soft one stop. Looking at the fuel. There's no way. Whoa, that was... Who was that? Somebody's in the... Ross bumped you in the chicane. Hold on. Hold on. So, who was off in the gravel? Was it Astro? No? Sure, somebody was off. Have I missed it again? I really have missed something. Somebody was off somewhere. Was it just that? Maybe it was just Astro going a bit wide. I'm sure somebody went fully off. Gilles! Oh, I thought I had a penalty for a second then. But X9G still in second. As the 10. Where? Whoa! It was Fossey. Somebody said it was Fossey. Hold on. Where is it? I knew somebody had gone off. Ooh, maybe just going too deep on his own. Did he have any help? Ross got himself a half-second penalty. Misha's somehow closing, well, not somehow, we know how. Oh, now just goes super deep on his own. Almost loses it. Don't cause an accident coming back on. Everybody's managed to get around him. Everybody's... I mean, it's as safe as it could have been there, because it was so close to causing an absolute pile-up. Okay, I don't think those tyres are going to last. Maybe if he takes a bit more care of them in the second half, it's possible. But 2 and 3 have driven away from Tin now. Acido's still going to have the pace advantage on the mediums. Even though they're worn, they're still good enough that they're faster than the hards. 41.3 on the last lap, 41.4, but they're still not closing in. They're not closing into P1. Misha with the fastest lap, unsurprisingly. And hoping to P6. God, that car is just absolutely destroying the field. Be really interesting to see what I can do. Spa, even though it's going to be wet, should be good. What's the last round? Trial mountain? Ooh, probably less good, but still high speed track. Relatively high speed anyway. How quick are they going to be able to get up to P4? Can't see it taking long, but they're going to lose a lot of time in the pits putting fuel in. What's crucial is that they don't come in on their own. They need to be trying to come in with somebody. Well, actually no, the Peugeot BGT, you don't need a slipstream, just drive. Things faster than most things with a slipstream anyway. And they're going for the move, up into P5. Nice, gets it stopped. And it's probably going to be a very easy pass on tin in the Mazda. And the Mazda's not slow. And it's just going to make it look like it's parked. I'm curious to see what speed he gets up to. He said another fastest lap. What speed does he get up to? It's just... it is crazy. 173, 5 miles an hour, 175 pretty much. With some slipstream, but still. Kinda crazy. Asseldor, I think maybe at this point has decided to sit behind X90G and try and bump him along. Try and use the slipstream. Are they closing in? No? Gilles chilling, low 41s. But Misha doing 40s, taking a second a lap. He's going to be closing that rapidly. 100% going to be going on the hards unless they try a two-stop, which I don't think is a viable strategy at all. And is just driven away from tin. I would be really interested to see what a good car behind it in the slipstream can do, if it can even fight back. Because this is not close. Like, just look at the gap. That is kind of crazy. Misha's already pretty much caught up to P2 and P3. Absolutely mad. So Wack is coming in early off the hard tyres, so Wack definitely going on to the mediums. Yeah, all these guys going on to the mediums for 14 laps. So who have we got in? Just those three? Just for Harry coming in from... I think Harry coming in from last place, possibly. This has really not been a good race for Harry. Fight for the championship, currently P2. We've got the two teammates together, so... unintentionally, it's worked out kind of okay. They can work together now. Assuming they do. It doesn't look like he's going for the move. Power's got himself a half-second penalty, and there's a snap on the exit. Not going to be enough for Scotty to go for the move. Scotty doesn't need to because Pyro's got the half-second penalty. He's going to lose it anyway. Marty up into P8, but he's on the medium, so it'll be interesting to see what strategy he's going for. Because obviously if he's going to the hards, we can probably expect something similar, a 14 laps on the mediums and then pit for hards. Prime call on the mediums as well, doing roughly the same. Marty's got more fuel. We've got a long way to go to see which drivers, if any, are going for the medium soft. Misha up into 4th still, although X9G has pulled away massively and is coming in to do 13 on the mediums. Asseldor, honestly, is probably going to get overtaken by Misha. They're in the slipstream and the Beetle's slow and the Peugeot is very fast. Yeah, almost a 10-mile-an-hour difference. So, Misha up into 2nd. After coming from the back, getting up to feel like with P5 or 6 and then dropping down again to P12 is back up to P2. There's going to be so much more time spent in the pits refueling. And they're definitely going to be able to catch Gilles at this rate. Yeah, tyres are looking good, but it's just the fuel. They've used so much more and they're going to have to put so much more in at the pit stop. That's going to lose a lot of time. How much is that? 15 to 20%? And they're going to have to put more fuel in on top of that. So that could be almost 30% more fuel required to get to the end. That is a long time stopped in the pits. I don't think those tyres are going to go 16. So maybe she's just going medium hard. Misha chilling, driving away from Asador. Tin started to close the gap onto Asador a little bit. They're on basically the same tyres. Tin's used a bit more fuel. Then we've got Ross behind in 5th. He's actually got less fuel now than Tin. He doesn't look like he's fuel saving that much. The GTR is just good in general. Marty is now in front of Primeco. Primeco probably just going to work with him. Or maybe he's just fuel saving. Maybe not. Hard to tell. Doesn't look like nobody's really going... Oops. Let's say no one's going for a battle. Tin's now right onto the back of Asador, so let's stick with this. Is Tin just going to try and work together? And Misha is absolutely gone. And that is the thing as well, is that tyre wear doesn't really affect cars like this that much because it makes all its time on the straights. So they're still going faster. 39 on mediums, like even on super low fuel. But interesting to see where that shakes out. Tin not going into the slipstream. Interesting. Is using 7th gear, so definitely doing some fuel saving. Got a bit better tyres than Asador. And this is another problem. Misha in already, almost out of fuel. Right, yeah, they couldn't do another lap on that fuel. Had to come in that lap. Okay, so Tin is going for the move now. Maybe just wanting to wait until this straight because it's a lot easier to get the move done. So Tin up into P2. And what I was going to say is the people that are going 16, they really don't want to get left out on their own with nobody else. Because slipstream's worth so much, especially with an undercut as well. If you can do it with slipstream, that's seconds a lap you can lose. Marty's actually pretty close into this battle, considering he's been off twice at least. Only a few seconds out of the fight for a podium. Maybe more like 5 or... maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Looks about right. Gilles still super consistent. 31s. Coming up to mid 41s now. As the tyres start to go. He's got plenty of fuel though. I think he's going to try. Although, well, no, we've got a couple of laps yet. We know the guys that pit early, they went on to the mediums for 14 laps. So this lap 14, is Gilles going to pit in now? He's not really saving fuel, so he's not deliberately trying to fuel save. He's just using the fact that GTR is really good on fuel naturally. Keeps going. So 2 more laps on those tyres. Tin looks like he's trying the same. Asador's probably trying the same. He's got plenty of fuel to do it. Ross might be trying it. I think everybody who's staying out now is trying to go for the softs. Pyro has... No, he hasn't bailed out. He's just taking the line there. I'm not sure that's worth it in the race though, because you do end up dirtying tyres. You can see all the stuff off the track it's kicking up. So we get X9G is our leader on that's already stopped. He's now onto the mediums. Came in a lap later than the cars behind. Misha's only just behind Wack though. On the hard tyres, which we knew was going to happen. And it's going to go flying past here without any fight whatsoever. Honestly, kind of surprised we didn't discuss banning that, because that's just ridiculous. The McLaren is not slow. Especially with Daytona and Monza NC game. But X9G's got a 1.5 second penalty. He did gain some time on the last lap doing a 140, but he's going to lose all that and more. And he was in the battle for P3. But this is also a problem for X9G. He's no one to work with for a slipstream. And Asseldo's still sticking with Tin. Everybody looks like their tyres are fine. 41.7. It does over the season, but it's kind of, you got to weigh up. Ooh, some drivers didn't have enough fuel. Okay, so Gilles and Asseldor are going for a 16th lap. Probably going on to the softs. Are any of these going to try 9 laps on softs? It'd be a bold strategy call to try it. But yeah, with the Peugeot VGT, it's more the fact that the Daytona and this should, in theory, be easy wins. Like, we've seen how easily it's driven past cars on the straights. Okay, so some drivers did. Okay, Ross did go on softs. Prime Code did. Wow, they're going 9 laps on softs? That is pushing it. Prime Code drops the most. Ross came out just behind Marty, who's put a bit less fuel in, so Marty's gained that position in the pits. But Misha's gained, or lost, I should say, nothing. Really? A couple of seconds? Even putting that much more fuel in, like, look how much more fuel you need to put in the Peugeot. But probably critically, Tin is going to be able to pull a gap in the middle sector to break the slipstream, but he needs to be able to hold that every time, because as soon as that Peugeot gets in the slipstream, it's going to close so much. So X9G, I don't think he's going to climb the race lead. He's probably going to be second. Gilles and Assador are definitely going on to soft tyres, 100%. Tyres just about make it. Assador's got a little bit more fuel, but it's kind of insignificant. Pyro almost ran out at 0 into the pits. And X9G, without that 1.5 second penalty, could potentially have been leading this. So Gilles stops at 57, down to 56 out of the pit lane. Assador coming out now. Going to be super close between Tin and Assador. Doesn't look like X9G is going to get close enough. Yeah, Tin goes through. Had less fuel, but that time gain on the soft tyres worth it. But it's probably going to give Misha the slipstream. Oh, and that was, yeah, it was a... didn't look like anything wrong from Assador in that. I think Misha was hoping to go to the outside and get the inside for the chicane, but Assador was just, no, just took the line, blocked it off. Don't think there was anything wrong with that. And then it's actually allowed Wax to come through. He's on the mediums, so he will have more grip in this section. But is he going to be able to hold Misha behind? Actually got Marty, obviously coming through on the softs, he had way bad traction. But even with a hint of slipstream from Wack, he just can't get alongside. Ooh, that's Mike, please don't be a penalty. Ooh, that looks a bit messy. Let's have a look at that. So Mike's going to absolutely send it around the outside. He's on the soft tyres, can brake later, all that good stuff. off track, or he does kind of get hit off track. Let's have a look at that from... Yeah, let's have a look at Misha's point of view. I guess it stopped fine. Cuts, kind of releases the brake. I mean, technically it's an unsafe rejoin because Marty's off the track before there's any contact. I mean, it's super tight. And if you want to get technical, that is kind of an unsafe rejoin. I'd say it worked out relatively fairly. It was kind of 50-50. Because if Marty was still on the track, he would have been pushed out. But interesting to see if it got reported. Because I think technically it would go down as an unsafe rejoin. But yeah, adding to what is probably a busy week for the stewards. But has cost Marty the position to Ross. Are these two going to work together? They must know that Wack isn't on softs. They must know he's on the mediums. Now look at the difference. 1 lap difference between Tin and Asador on the mediums. Look at the difference in the tyre wear. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who's at fault either, to be honest. You'd have to really get down to the the pixels of who was on track, who wasn't on track, kind of thing. But yeah, if it got reported, the stewards will let you know who's at fault for that one. They could just say it's 50-50. Really? That's a surprise. I mean, fair play for talking it out in the chat, I'm guessing, after the race. Because there's been a fair few of little pushes and stuff like that. But so, it means we've got no reports to worry about, so the results will stand whatever happens. And it looks like Tin's about to get the move into P2. Yeah. If it is a bit like that, I can see people being like, I caused this incident, you caused that incident, let's just leave it as it is. Instead of bringing the stewards into it. But Tin going 9 laps on me on softs. Maybe the WRX isn't great on tyres, but 9 laps seems a lot to get there without them dying completely. Tin is closing on Gilles. Not going to have any slipstream anymore, unless Matty X9G can stick with him to bump him down the straights, but Tin's soft tyres should still be good enough to pull away. Asador doing 8 laps on the soft should easily make it. Wack is coming under pressure from Marty, and Ross has got a 2-second penalty, but Ross was right with Marty, so what has happened? What did happen? God, it was a long time ago. Something must have happened in this chicane. They just go deep on his own. Marty dives to the inside. Gets it stopped. Ross just makes a mess of the chicane after Marty's gone through. Drops behind Misha. Still on the soft tyres though, so it's probably going to be able to get right onto the back of Misha. Yep. Does he just choose to work with Misha? Probably. And there's no point trying to overtake the Peugeot into here. You need to outbrake it into the chicane. Just stick in the slipstream the whole way. Getting a little bit of bump, so he's lost so much time. So Misha is really struggling through that section on the hard tyres. Had a couple of bad laps, actually 1 bad lap, it was just from that spin. So let's jump forward again, because We've got Tin up into second, which is about right. Got X9G behind there, Asseldor on his own. Then we've got Marty looking for this move on Whack. And we're coming up to 4 laps. Marty was one of the ones that came in early, so this is the end of lap 4. And maybe the tyres can make it. They're not at 50% yet. Maybe it's just a WRX doing WRX things and burning its tyres for fun. Ross serves his 2-second penalty, drops down to 9th behind Jack. Scotty up into P10, Prime Call in 11th on the soft tyres. Harry down in 12th still. This is going to be really painful for his championship. X9G up in 3rd. It's not going to be a good point situation after this round with 2 to go. Although Spark could be just as chaotic as this. Fossey's got himself a 1.5 second penalty. Still trying to work with Astro, and Pyro, unfortunately, trying the medium soft, but he's off the back of the pack. So there's no one to work with to get himself forward. Tin still going faster than Shields. Not really by enough to close that gap. And he looks like he might be too fast to keep X9G in his slipstream to help bump him along. So let's see who's fighting. Marty's made his way past Whack, probably into the chicane and quite easily on the soft tyres. Marty's been flying, because he was last at one point. I think he was last and off the back of the pack a little bit at one point. He's up to 5th. And he's got a shot at getting 4th. Because if he can get into the slipstream range, he will be able to overtake the Beetle. Gets through there nicely, doesn't go out onto the AstroTurf at all. How is Misha doing? Kind of struggling a little bit on the hard tyres. Slightly more inconsistent. Did do a 40 on the last lap, which is still crazy. Crazy fast. Closed in on Whack, almost a second. Crucially, Whack might have some slipstream from Marty ahead. Although maybe not, might be just outside. So nobody is going to be battling yet. So let's go on Scotty and Primecall. Are these guys working together or are they having a fight? They are having a fight. So Primecall pulls out to the inside. He's got to give Scotty the inside for the chicane. Unless Primecall can make the move completely. Which he might be able to do. It looks like he has done. They on the same side? No. Right, Primecall on the soft tyres. Ross has managed to make his way back past Jack. Again, not really surprising. Ferrari's not got good top end. Primecall should be able to get that position as well. And it looks like Jack might have been pushing it with the 14 on the medium because his rear tyres are getting low. And over some of these curbs, that could be quite dangerous. Have we got Marty close? We've got Marty ahead. Close that fast. Ooh, like a mistake for a Masseldor. Too deep. Yeah, and gets a horrible exit. Marty gets a great one. Does he go to the inside? Yeah, just gets to the inside, drives around him. Easy. And the tyres look fairly similar now. Considering Marty's gone a lot longer. They're not that different. But I think Asseldor just gonna... His best bet is just to work together with Marty now. Try and get up to 3rd if you can, and then on the last lap, if you're not there, that's when you try and fight. Doesn't look like he's trying to go for the move, just sits behind. And, depending on if they realise that Misha is relatively close in the Peugeot, they might just want to work together to make sure they do not drop into the clutches of the Peugeot. Oh, Jack wide again in the background. That might be because of the tyres going over the curb. Primecall definitely within the slipstream range. Probably going to get him down to turn 1. Yeah. This has been quite like wacky races. It's very, very reminiscent of that. I think Primecall's definitely going to get this position. Yeah, 4 or 5 mile an hour difference from the slipstream. Ooh, he's choosing to bump. So he's not guaranteed to get a position, and it's going to cost him a lot. It didn't look like the cleanest bump, so he might not be close enough to outbrake him. Doesn't look like he will be. How are we standing up here? So, Marty, what was the last lap? 40.6, 40.8, so they didn't actually take much time out of X9G. Marty was a little compromised in the middle sector though. Oh, but he goes wide. Only just dipped a wheel into the gravel though. Just about got away with it. Tyres still looking okay. We've got 2 laps left at the end of this. They should be okay for that. So 9 laps looks like it is going to work. How is Tin doing compared to Gilles? Gilles is actually holding on really. Actually, he's got 1 lap fresher tyres. So that does make sense. Actually dips into the 39s and is pulling away slightly from Tin. But Tin should be able to hold on to this P2. Just. It's going to be tight. Ooh, X9G going a little bit wide. Ooh, Watt going wide as well. But crucially, they're kind of holding Misha at bay, which is crucial to keep them safe on this straight. Asadol is still working with Marty. 40.4 in the last lap, 40.5, 41.3, so they did take a lot of time out on that lap. I just don't think 2 laps is going to be enough for them to close that gap down. Marty going a little bit defensive. Not sure he necessarily needed to. We've got Tin holding on to the fastest lap at the moment, 39.6. Unless somebody pits at the end of the race, I don't think anybody's going to beat that. So Asador does have slightly better. Ooh, Marcy's again in the gravel a little bit. That might be enough of a run for Asador. But he's brought him alongside, but he's not through yet. Still alongside. Marty doesn't look like he's backed out of it. Decides to though. Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to catch up to P3 unless P3 makes a mistake. Well, the X9G was a little bit wide. And Wax managed to hold on to this really well. Managed to hold on really well to this battle. P6, maybe just about within the slipstream. Does Marty want to go for the move this lap? Well, it's going to be the final lap actually, so he does. Definitely does. Thought they were coming on start lap 23, but it's not. They're starting the final lap. Marty's 100% going to go for this move with the slipstream. No, he's going for the pump draft. That is an interesting choice. I would have 100% just gone past there. Or maybe he just knows that the Beetle's that slow, he can do a bump and he can still get past anyway. That lack of top speed really killed Asalora in this one. Ooh, but Mike goes a little bit deep. Look, he went a little bit deep. Ooh, Misha started to close onto the back of this group. Martin Asador should be safe. Whack might not be. So Gilles okay. Tyres just about going to make it. Tin, same. Tyres just about going to make it. It's probably got a big enough gap behind, so he's not worried about his next IG. Then Martin Asador, whack. Looks like he's got a bit of a bigger gap to Misha. Yeah, should be okay as long as he keeps it clean through the chicane. Asador looks the most likely. So, oh, big slide from Marty. It's going to put Asador right on the back. But he gets forced to the outside. We're going to watch these two parabolic, and then we'll swap to the leader coming across the line. Ooh, looks like Asador's just about going to have to come back to that. We've got Gilles coming across the line in P1. Tin's going to come across in P2, just about making it on the tyres. X9G in third, and let's go back 10 seconds. See how this played out. So, Asador does send it completely around the outside. But Marty looks like he gets the better exit, and he's got the straight line speed. Marty should be able to hold on to that P4. Yeah, and he will. So Marty gets his P4, Asador gets P5, Whack P6. Misha recovers 2P7 with the missile. Jack just going to hold on ahead of Primecore. That's a bit of a surprise. I know Primecore's tyres died at the end, but I would have thought he'd be able to get past there. Scotty Ross going to be able to be a bit disappointed, but his tyres did die at the end, trying to go 9 laps. So it was touch and go. Harry gets into 12th, Astro 13th, Fossey in 14th, Pyro in 15th. Yeah, it was a great recovery to P4. Like, a great recovery. Then we've got Higgsy trying to go for the fastest lap, I think, but without any slipstream, and he's made a mistake there anyway, so he's just burning his tyres up for fun. Higgsy across the line in P16. And that is going to have a big impact on the championship. X9AG probably extended his lead, although Tim was in the championship fight and he had a solid round in both rounds, so let's have a check. Tier 2, here we go. Oh, go away, stop doing that. Okay, so we do, X9AG does hold on to the lead and does extend it, but Tin moves up into second, only 17 points off the lead, and Harry is in third, so drops one position. Now we've got a 25-point lead to make up. Still 2 rounds to go, can definitely do that. Then we've got Jack, Astor into the top 5. Said something to be watching out for with Astor. Could maybe get top 3. He's only 13 points out of that at the moment. Scotty in 6th. Ross in 7th, as he seems like he always is at some point, with that P2 in the sprint race. Then we've got Gilles up into P8 with a really good round. Marty, again, must have made some positions up to 89 points. Higgsy holding on to the top 10 with 79 points. Then for the constructors, Ferrari's still leading, but Mazda's actually super close now. Only an 11-point difference. Nissan not too far behind. Now, honestly, top 5 not even separated by that much. 58 points. Although Lamborghini's going to struggle with only one driver now, so maybe a top 4 fight for that Constructors' Championship, depending on how the last 2 rounds go. And the next round will be Spa, and it will be guaranteed to rain. So I'm predicting as much chaos, if not more chaos, than this one. So make sure you join in for that one some point next week. So it's 2 more rounds to go. Title fight definitely still on in both championships. I will see you guys all next week.